If you were on YouTube in the early 2010s, especially anywhere near fashion, beauty, lifestyle, there is a very good chance that you remember Kalel.
Oh, it looks like cat food.
Wait a second, are you sure this isn't cat food?
Vegan tuna.
In a flash.
So 2016 is pretty much over, and I think we all know what's approaching. The classic 2017, I'm gonna be in the best shape of my life. This year is my year. No excuses, no slacking. I'm gonna eat right.
You guys,
I'm gonna work
I am
out.
so stupid. Okay, so basically, I'm at a temporary house right now. We're in the process of moving, blah, blah, blah.
Soft aesthetic vlogs, pastel bedrooms, DIY, fashion eras, vegan lifestyle phases, and channel rebrands that just seem to occur overnight. And then she would disappear again and again and again. Kalel wasn't just another creator. She was a genuine part of a generation that really shaped what lifestyle content looks like on the platform. Long before influencer culture had become over commercialized, she represented something a little bit more personal: experimentation, identity, and growing up online in real time. But over the years, she did start to become very well known for something else entirely: reinvention, deletion, and starting over. So, what actually happened to Kalel? Why did someone with millions of subscribers, strong creative instincts, and very early YouTube success struggle to stay on the platform? And is it possible that YouTube fame, despite giving her everything, was the thing that actually hurt her the most? This isn't to be negative about Kalel. I think this is more of a nostalgic video and just a look back at a very OG creator. And I really want to have a deeper conversation about what happens when someone who is really searching for themselves does it in front of millions of people watching. Before we do get into it, please be sure to subscribe down below and like this video. We are on the journey to 1,000 subs and I would love for you to be a part of it. So let's get into it. Kalel, also known as Kristen Smith, rose during what many consider YouTube's golden era. This was a time before polished influencer marketing, before algorithm optimization dominated creativity. Creators were experimenting, and a lot of audiences were discovering personalities rather than brands. Her early content blended fashion, lifestyle, beauty, personal vlogs, and a lot of aesthetic storytelling. She wasn't necessarily loud or chaotic like a lot of the influencers at that time. Instead, I think her appeal came from this really soft, curated intimacy with the audience. Watching her videos felt like stepping into someone's carefully curated world, and it thrived so well. Her channels grew rapidly and she became very deeply embedded in early YouTube culture, especially through collaborations and content featuring her connections to creators like Smosh. For many viewers, she wasn't just a YouTuber. She was aspirational, creative, stylish, and constantly evolving. But sadly, that constant evolution would later become both her defining trait and also her biggest struggle. For the rebrands, the disappearances, and before the conversations about burnout really surfaced, there was one chapter of Kalel's life that really defined how millions of people viewed her online: her relationship with Anthony Padilla. For many early YouTube audiences, these were not just a couple, they were the YouTube couple.
I love you and I want to spend the rest of my life. Will you marry me? Will you?
You guys! Oh my gosh! I'm so excited!
They met in 2010, a time where YouTube still felt really small, personal, and experimental. Anthony was one half of Smosh, one of the biggest channels on the platform at the time, while Kalel was building her own identity through fashion, beauty, lifestyle. Together, they had created Watch Us Live and Stuff, a daily vlog channel that really quickly exploded in popularity, gaining hundreds of thousands of subscribers in weeks. Their relationship did feel very unusually intimate for the time. Viewers watched their proposal, trips, pets, inside jokes, moments that really blurred the lines between entertainment and real life. When Anthony proposed during a trip to Japan, it wasn't just a private milestone, it became shared internet history. But sadly, that closeness later became part of the problem. In December of 2014, the couple posted a video titled "Going Our Separate Ways," announcing that they had ended their engagement and their relationship.
A lot of people on Twitter and Instagram have really been giving me an earful.
Me too. It's been hard to.
Really? Works for you?
Yeah. What?
Oh,
Yeah.
they hate me.
No, I'm sure, but I'm getting something too.
I just want to take a moment to say that, like, I saw a lot of people saying, like, you don't care about your subscribers.
That's so not what it is.
That really breaks my heart, because sometimes people are in a really personal situation, and the last thing they want to do is share something really deep and personal that's hurting them to millions of people, you know?
For me, when I go through something really deep or whatever, it's hard for me to even share it with my close friends right away.
Right.
And then to have to openly talk about something right away, it's...
And people will instantly judge and assume and take sides.
It's like, I want to be able to, like, go through it myself before I openly go through it with everyone else, you know?
Yeah. And there was a time of deliberation, and it's not a black and white situation, and it's really difficult for us, but obviously you probably know what we're going to say.
Yeah.
We are no longer together.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are probably shocked, obviously.
Let's give them a moment to be heartbroken.
They had explained how they'd grown apart and that they had wanted to remain friends. On paper, it seemed calm and respectful. Emotionally, for viewers and for both creators, this was really a turning point. The breakup didn't just end a relationship, it dismantled an entire online history. Their joint channel lost tens of thousands of subscribers almost immediately after the announcement, and Kalel had then later removed any videos containing Anthony, effectively erasing all the years of shared content online together. For many fans who had grown up watching them, it felt like losing a familiar world overnight, and for Kalel, it meant rebuilding her public identity alone.
Hi. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys something, an update, what the fuck is happening with me right now. I don't even know. I don't know.
The situation did escalate roughly 2 years after, when Anthony had posted a Draw My Life video, which was trending at the time.
Confidence was at an all-time low. And as all toxic relationships go, I didn't realize how bad it really was.
Describing a past relationship as manipulative and emotionally damaging. Without naming Kalel directly, though, viewers had been very quick to connect the timeline. And of course, the internet did what the internet does best. It picked sides. Kalel responded publicly, disputing the characterization and asking for that segment to be removed, saying the accusations were false, and just reigniting discussions around their past relationship. I think what followed was less about the truth and more about their perception in the public eye. Fans analysed years of content, searching for evidence of this toxic relationship. Commentary videos appeared, narratives had hardened, and suddenly a deeply personal relationship breakdown turned into this internet lore. For Kalel especially, this really shaped how audiences tended to view her, not just as a creator, but a character within a story that fans believed they understood. So if there's one thing that long-term viewers of Kalel really recognise, it's this. It's that every few years, her identity online fully changed. A new channel, new aesthetic, new lifestyle philosophy, sometimes even a completely new identity online.
It's another new year full of possibility. I hope you guys have had a good start to 2026 so far. I unfortunately have not. Nail shit, okay, I swear. But look at my latest swatches. Is this satisfying or is this satisfying? Just look how many I've completed. There's so many. So I just got back from doing some major damage at the grocery store. I got a bag from Whole Foods and I got a bag from Trader Joe's, and it's all vegan. And I thought you guys would like to see what I got, because I know it can be a bit of a struggle, especially when you first decide that you want to attempt to go vegan, you're kind of like, what do I buy? What do I eat? I don't know.
Over time, she had cycled through multiple eras. A fashion minimalist, a kawaii aesthetic creator, a vegan lifestyle advocate, wellness-focused content, and deeply personal, deeply reflective content. And each reinvention did feel genuine at the time. And that is very important when we go forward with this story. These didn't really come across as these calculated rebrands for attention or for views. It just felt like someone who was really genuinely trying to figure out who they were while doing it online. But as we are learning constantly, YouTube rewards consistency and audiences attach themselves to familiarity, and every reset then meant starting over emotionally again with viewers. When videos disappeared or entire channels were wiped, fans didn't just lose content, they lost some sort of shared history. Eventually, Kalel was known just as much for leaving YouTube as she was for being on it. Long gaps between uploads turned into full disappearances. Channels were deleted or heavily scrubbed. Years of content vanishing overnight. From a viewer perspective, it felt very confusing. But I think from a human perspective, it hinted at something a lot deeper. Because I think being a YouTuber, especially during those early golden days, meant living without these boundaries between identity and performance. Your personality becomes content. Your growth becomes public discussion. Your mistakes become permanent archives. And for someone already trying to navigate their identity and self-image, I think that environment can become overwhelming very quickly. Kalel has openly spoke about mental health, self-image, and pressure online multiple times.
Maybe 2017? I've been in low power survival mode for 8 years. And when I'm in this mode, even the idea of taking on a big task feels heavy. Not because I'm lazy, but because I know exactly how much energy it's going to cost and I just don't have it. However, I will say there are times where I can use willpower to momentarily force an override. Like in 2018 to 2024, when I was absolutely broke and I would have to post something just so I could pay rent, I could override the system. But the emotional cost was huge. The anxiety, the shame, the rumination, it would last for weeks.
And I think when you look back, those patterns really do start to make sense. YouTube demands constant visibility, constant feedback, constant comparison. Every upload invites judgment. Every absence invites speculation. And I think for creators that are really prone to perfectionism, the platform can become exhausting. Many viewers had described her as just someone looking for an ideal version of themselves, emotionally, creatively, aesthetically. And I think when reality doesn't quite meet that expectation, the solution often seemed to be wiping that slate completely clean and trying to start again. Not out of trying to manipulate an audience, but just out of pure discomfort. However, the internet never forgets. Over time, audience reactions started to become a lot more divided. Some viewers felt frustrated, arguing that the repeated deletions alienated fans and just erased years of work. Others had expressed sadness, feeling like they were watching someone struggling very publicly with their self-image and identity. A common opinion online is that Kalel may have just been too sensitive for the harshness of being a content creator online, that criticism was deeply affecting her, and that the constant reinvention was really just reflecting someone who is still looking for stability. I think honestly, frustration and empathy can really exist at the same time. Viewers felt very emotionally invested in this journey. They supported her, they grew up alongside her, and repeatedly that connection was reset. But I think it is really worth asking another question. What if success on YouTube requires a level of emotional detachment that really was just not healthy for her? I think it is really impossible to not wonder just how big Kalel could have been if she stayed consistent on the platform. She had entered YouTube at the perfect time. Early influencer era, strong aesthetic branding, a loyal audience, and a very natural on-screen personality. I think if she had continued steadily, she easily could have transitioned into major lifestyle branding, fashion entrepreneurship, long-term influencer success. And I think there are many creators from that era who have done the exact same thing. But success isn't only about opportunity, it's about sustainability. And I think sometimes those traits that make someone creatively compelling, you know, sensitivity, introspection, constant self-evaluation, are the same traits that make long-term internet fame extremely difficult. Kind of shifting from nostalgia to reflection. Maybe the question isn't why Kalel wasn't consistent. Maybe the question is, was the environment ever healthy for her to begin with? Fame really asks people to solidify an identity early on and to continue with it indefinitely. But some people just aren't born for that type of permanence. Some people change consistently, and that's fine, that's normal. But the difference is, a lot of us get to change and evolve very privately, and she did it very publicly. And every change becomes content, criticism, and expectation all at once. Sometimes stepping away really isn't failure, it's survival. So where is Kalel today? Kalel largely lives outside the constant spotlight that she had once occupied. Her online presence is a lot quieter, more controlled, and a lot more far removed from peak YouTube culture. And I think realistically, maybe that is the healthiest one. I don't think every creator's story really needs to end with this platform dominance. Some stories do just end with putting in that distance, and that can still be a really positive ending. She had been posting on a new YouTube account. Again, I think she's promising some sort of consistency. However, at the time of this recording, I believe she hasn't posted in over a month now, and I don't think this is really a major comeback story. Kalel's story really isn't just about disappearing. It's about growing up online before people really knew the psychological cost of doing so. She helped to shape lifestyle content on YouTube, inspired countless viewers, created aesthetics and trends that people still remember years and years on. But I think she also showed us something equally just as important. Not everyone who becomes famous is meant to stay famous. And that's okay. Sometimes the healthiest thing a person can do is step away from that version of themselves that the internet really expects them to be. And maybe the real takeaway isn't wondering why she had left, but hoping that she has found peace somewhere outside of the algorithm. So what are your main memories of Kalel? What do you think about her journey on YouTube? I think it is just very reflective of that some people aren't meant for the spotlight, and I think sometimes fame can do a lot more damage than good. I remember so much of her content, and I was a very avid fan throughout the years. I try and somewhat follow with some of the new stuff she is posting, but again, I have changed what I watch, and she has obviously very much changed as who she is as a creator online. And I definitely wish her all the best. I think it does sound like being away from the camera is probably the most healthy option, and I hope that she finds peace with that over time. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to like the video and subscribe down below. I make new videos weekly, and I hope for you to join along on the journey. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.